Hold on, guys. Let me wipe the lens off real quick. Just gonna wipe this off real quick. There we go. Much better. Perfect. Now I just gotta wait on YouTube to do their job and tell everybody that I'm live. Come on, YouTube, do your thing. By the way, tonight's call-in show, different number. I'm using the phone to which that Google number I assigned to. So, obviously, I can't answer that phone. And I will post the correct number up here in just a minute. So, don't call the usual number. It just won't get answered. Sorry. But I will post the other number here shortly. And, I'm going to have Joey, my sponsor, call in first here in just a second. But first, I'm hoping YouTube does what they're supposed to do and tells people that I'm live. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. I know you can. Anyways, I hope y'all had a good day. I had a pretty good day myself. Actually, I had a spectacular day. Set a new record. If you haven't seen my video for today and the comment that I pinned in, record-breaking day, actually. In the past 24 hours, I have gained over 50 subscribers. That is a record-breaking day. So, yes, really, really good day today. I appreciate everybody's support. And if we have any new subscribers in here or new people in here that hasn't subscribed, and you're like, man, what is this? What's going on Bluetooth? Well, basically, number one, I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know everything there is to know about college football, and I don't claim to. That's not what this is about. What this is about is my excitement for college football. And especially when news pops up that I'm excited about, I want to share it with you guys, pass it along, get it out there as fast as I can because I'm excited about it. So I try to pass on the exciting news that I see, find out, however you want to word it, and pass it on to you guys. That way you can be excited with me. That's what this channel is about. Being excited about college football together as a group. You know, this is my own team. You know, you have your team that you watch. You know, Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, my team, West Virginia. Well, Golden Blue Dude is your second team. And we have a lot of members. We're closing in on 2,000. I think we can get to 2,000 by the time the college football season kicks off. My goal was, check this out, guys. My goal was 1,500. 1,500. And we've already smacked that right in the mouth. So, yeah, we're going for 2,000 and beyond. I think we can do it. We're growing at an alarming rate right now, guys. An alarming rate. So I think we can do it. And I appreciate your support because I can't do this without you. A lot of creators forget to mention that. I could put out all the stuff that I want to, but without you guys, there's still no show. I'm just putting out content that nobody watches. So it's you guys that make the show. And that's why I'm thankful for you, and I appreciate you, and you guys are awesome. Real quick, I do have to plug my sponsor, not out of, you know, I don't have to. I want to. And Joey, while you're in the comment section, go ahead and post it on here too. That way they'll know what I'm talking about. TriStateWoodSketch.com. All you have to do, send him your picture. He transfers that picture onto wood. It looks great. It looks something like this. Yeah, pretty good. And There you go. That's what I'm talking about. And right now he's running a great sale. You can't get much better than this. Buy one, get one free. So let's say you buy something that's worth $25. You can buy something else that's at least $25 or lower, and it's free. So, it don't get better than that. And I appreciate him. He's helped me out. He's actually the one. I don't know if he wants me to say this or not, but I'm going to say it. He's actually the one that helped me book Mark Rogers for Saturday's show. So, y'all need to be thanking him. He pulled some strings for me on that one, and that's why I was able to get Mark Rogers on Saturday. Y'all don't forget about that. Tomorrow, I'll make the final announcement as far as what time. I'm thinking 9 because I don't have to work on Saturdays. So right now, it's 9. If it changes to 10 or 11 or whatever, I'll let you know. All right. That aside, it's time to talk about college football. Joey, you may call in, sir. And guys, like I said at the beginning of this video, don't call the number that we've been calling because I'm using the phone that Google number I assigned to. There's going to be a different number. I'm having Joey call in first. He's going to say a few things, and then we're going to pass the number on to you guys. It's going to be a good show. Here we go. Put him on speaker. What's going on, bud?
What's going on there? What's going on, Blue Jays?
Hey, hold on one second. Let me lower this mic so it's kind of out of view. There we go. Because I don't want people seeing your number. That would be invasion of privacy.
Well, actually, my number's on my web, so okay.
Okay, well, that'll work.
Hey, I tell you what, it's been a crazy couple of days when.
Let me turn you up. Hold on.
Oklahoma and Texas.
There we go. Yes,
but
yes.
I just don't believe. I don't believe Texas is a very good fit for the SEC, and I really don't see why teams like Kentucky and the smaller teams in the SEC, mid-tier teams, would want Texas in there just to drop them lower. They already don't talk about, Kentucky's going to have a decent team this year. They already don't talk about them, and when they do, it's very limited. You put Texas and Oklahoma in there, all of a sudden Kentucky gets pushed completely aside, and they don't even. They're talked about like Kansas.
Yeah, that's exactly why people are calling me crazy for saying that Kentucky's going to finish second. It's because they don't get talked a lot. Kentucky is going to be a very talented team this year.
Yeah, they are. They are, and but if it was Texas and Oklahoma were in the SEC right now, that would just knock Kentucky down, and no one would talk about them.
Exactly.
It's just how it would be.
You know what the other good thing about Kentucky being good? That means that we're safe with Neil Brown for now, because that's his dream job. So as long as Mark Stoops is doing a good job at Kentucky, we're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So I'm one thing I want to talk to you about. I was thinking about this earlier, and somehow a conference is going to have to be able to compete with the SEC.
Yeah.
If they do take Oklahoma and Texas, and you've got Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU, all those schools in there already. I'm just wondering how close would we be coming to, say, an Ohio State, Penn State, a couple other Big Ten schools call on Clemson and maybe North Carolina and say, hey, let's start our own super conference.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory right there. Dang. I don't like that idea at all.
Right, but they're going to have to compete with the SEC, and right now, even though the Big Ten is an awesome conference, they're not going to be nothing. They're going to be a stepping stone for the SEC now.
Yeah, that's why if this does happen, the other conferences need to be getting the other members. Because if the SEC gets Oklahoma and Texas and everybody else stays the same, what you're saying is exactly right. It's the SEC. It's literally the SEC and everybody else. And if we switch to a 12-team format, it's going to be like 7 SEC teams in there.
Right.
So other conferences need to make a move as well, like now. Do it. And the teams that are in the conference, reach out.
I could see right now. I could see Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, and Clemson and North Carolina getting together and saying, "We're just going to create us a conference."
Yep.
Because the television rights are going to be so unequal now.
Yeah.
If you take Oklahoma and Texas and throw them in there in the SEC, SEC is going to be making god-awful amount of money. Them and the Big Ten are kind of equal right now as far as money.
The Big Ten actually made a little bit more last year, I think, and the year before. But overall, they're pretty equal.
Yep. Well, I will let you go so other people can call in.
Okay.
Looking forward to a great show, man. I will post the number as soon as I can get back in the chat.
All right, and I'll say it out before you post it. So we got this, man. We got this.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
Have a good one.
Later.
That was my sponsor, TriStateWoodsCatch.com. Smart dude, guys. Smart dude. All right, the new number to call, 864-553-6688. Pretty easy to remember. 864-553-6688. That's it. That's the new number. So call in, talk about whatever you want, college football related. You want to talk about your team? You want to talk about, what's going on with Texas and Oklahoma? You want to talk about a game you're worried about for your team? Anything like that, anything college football related, you are good to go. Just call in. We'll talk about it. I just love to talk college football. That's the bottom line. I love to talk it. So it doesn't matter what team you're a fan of. I'll talk in. Let me recenter this, guys. Hold on. This is bugging me just a little bit. Hold on. So whenever I lower my mic, it extends, and I want to lower it because I don't want everybody to see, who all is coming in and stuff. So give me 1 second here. This is the only thing that I didn't think out. I think that'll do her. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. That's good enough. So yeah, call in. Talk about whatever team. We can talk about the current situation with Texas and Oklahoma. We can talk about who you think is going to make the playoffs. GBD, are you sure that's the number you want to use? Yeah, that's the other phone that I don't really use. So it's, that would be the only number. That would be the only thing I would use it for. I'm fine with it. This isn't my personal phone. It's my phone that I use for extra data. So I'm not really worried about it. Yeah. 864-553-6688. Call in. Talk about your team. Talk trash about somebody else's team. That's fine with me too. Talk about the playoffs. Talk about a game you're worried about or a game you're excited about. That's the number you said earlier. Hold on a second. 864-553. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got this. Let me see. Wasn't that the number you called, Joey? Give me a heads up on that. Because that doesn't make sense why I wouldn't be working. I mean, you literally just called on it, so why would it do that? Oh, you wrote down the... Okay. I got you. It's 864-553-6688. 553-6688. Area code 864-553-6688. We'll get it, guys. We'll get it. We're good. There it is. Wisconsin fan has it. That is the correct number. Maybe I didn't see the one earlier. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Let me re-look at it. No, that looks like the right number. 553-6688. That's the one I wrote down, too. It looks like that's the one you called. 864-553-6688. That has to be the right one. That's weird. Wisconsin fan says, Golden Blue Dude, what do you think of Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Texas to the SEC, West Virginia, Cincinnati to the ACC, Missouri and Notre Dame to the Big Ten. Well, the first part of that, yeah, I could see, and even the second part, but that last part, Missouri and Notre Dame to the Big Ten, it's 5-3-3. So we were right the very first time. My bad. Okay, so it is 5-3-3, 6-6-8-8. Okay, let me fix this real quick, guys. Yep, now it's lighting up. Here we go. What's up? You're on with Golden Blue Dude.
Hello.
What's going on, bud? Who are we talking to?
Basketball legend.
Basketball legend. What's going on, bud?
Good.
You good?
Yep.
Who you want to talk about?
How SMU beats UCF and Memphis.
SMU beating
Yeah.
UCF and Memphis. Ooh.
In your predictions, I just want a season prediction since they're beating Memphis and UCF in the same season.
I think the best case scenario for SMU as far as Memphis and UCF goes, I think they split it. I can't remember off the top of my head which one's the road game and which one's the home game, but whoever's the road game, that's the one that I would say SMU loses, and if they're going to win one, it'll be the home game. But overall, I do think SMU will take a slight step backwards because I think Memphis is going to be stronger this year. I think UCF is going to be strong as usual. I think Cincinnati is going to dominate the conference again. I do think Tulsa takes a slight step backwards, but I think Tulsa finishes ahead of SMU. So I have SMU falling down to maybe 5 or 6, depending on what Houston does. Because Houston's supposed to have a slight bounce back year as well. But I don't trust Dana Holgerson. So at this point in time, I would actually have SMU above Houston. So total season prediction for SMU, I would have them at... sorry guys, I only have one line at a time, so after Basketball Legend gets off, I'll get to you. I'll probably have them, I'm going to say 7-5 or 8-4. Still a decent season, but not as high as they were last year. I think they finished, maybe right at where they were last year.
Yeah, they were 7-3 last year.
Yeah. Right at where they were last year. They're not going to be a bad team. They're going to be decent, but not elite.
And the road game is the Memphis game.
Oh, they might lose both of those then. Because really, I could see them beating Memphis at home. I don't know about UCF. They're going to be pretty good too. Best case scenario, 1-1. Maybe they can pull that off and go 8-4. How about that?
Yeah.
Now Memphis. I thought you liked Memphis too. Do you like Memphis?
Yeah, I do, but like on the predictions when you had UCF and Memphis, you said that SMU would beat them.
Not both of them. I know I had Memphis beating SMU. I might have had SMU beating UCF though. And that is a home game for SMU, so I think that makes sense. But Memphis, Athlon has Memphis finishing like 7th. That's just wrong. I think Memphis is going to finish as high as 2nd. Tulsa's going to take a step back. UCF will be strong, but Memphis, I think, will be your second place team. They're going to have a great team this year. Absolutely.
Also, will Clemson take a step back or forward or stay the same?
Clemson, it's hard to tell. It all depends on that Georgia game. Personally, I have Clemson beating Georgia because I trust the coaching more. Georgia has more talent, for sure. But I don't trust their coaching yet. Now, could they prove me wrong? Of course. Absolutely, they could prove me wrong. They have the talent to prove me wrong. But Kirby has to show me that he will stop overthinking situations and stick to a game plan. Especially, and like I said in the video, especially when he's up at halftime. For whatever reason, he gets up at halftime on people, and decides to switch things up, and he gives the game away. So if he can prove to me that he can stop doing that, then absolutely they can beat Clemson. Right now, I have Clemson beating Georgia, and I have Clemson winning the ACC, and I have Clemson getting to the playoffs. So I would say I have Clemson pretty much staying the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're not a Clemson fan, anything else, bud?
Who do you think will win the ACC?
The ACC? Oh, Clemson. Yeah. North Carolina is good, but they lost their 2 great running backs. They did get the transfer from Tennessee, which will help a lot. But against Clemson, you have to be able to do everything great. You have to be able to pass the ball, run the ball, and defend the ball great. North Carolina's running game is going to take a slight step backwards this year. I think they win the Coastal, but they're not going to be able to run the ball enough to beat Clemson.
Okay. Well, that's it.
All right, but hey, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem, man. Have a good night.
It's trash.
Absolutely, Pitt is trash. Sorry, guys. Whoever was trying to call in, go ahead now. Basketball Legend is off the line. That's what I'm trying to explain is right now I only have one line. So if you hear somebody on the air, I can't answer the phone because I only have one line. But I will invest in a soundboard, and we will get to it. Hey, you're on with Golden Blue, dude.
Hey, how we doing?
We're doing good. How are you? Who are we talking to?
Oh, doing great. This is Jake.
Jake.
I'm calling from Nebraska.
Okay.
Nebraska guy.
I got you.
But I got a question. We're talking about this SEC, Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah.
I got a question, and I'll ask you, and then I'll hang up, and I'll just listen to you.
Okay.
What do you think? If they go ahead and go through with this, Oklahoma and Texas go ahead and get accepted in the SEC, I could be wrong, but I think maybe not the first year for Oklahoma, but I do believe Texas will. I think Oklahoma within maybe 2-3 years, and Texas for sure right away. I think they're going to go down the same road Nebraska did for the last 5 years, because I think they're going to be dominant. Alabama, Florida, Georgia, whatever side they play, Oklahoma's not going to be able to compete with them guys year in and year out like they are right now in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I'll hang up, listen to you. Nice talking to you. Love your show. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you calling in, man. Have a good night. Yeah, that's a lot of people are actually worried about that because Oklahoma is in the Big 12, and the Big 12 is, I mean, the truth is the truth. The Big 12 is not up to the level of the SEC. And there's a difference between playing, 1 or 2 really tough games a year and playing like 4 or 5 really tough games a year. Is Oklahoma good enough to win those tough games in a particular year? Yes, they are. But year in and year out, no, probably not. But I do think, here's the thing though, it's almost like a catch-22 though. The SEC will probably help Oklahoma in recruiting. So at first, they might be knocked down a peg or two, but because of the SEC helping them in recruiting as far as their brand goes, they might get to where they can be, sort of dominant in the SEC. I'm not going to say Alabama dominant, but successful, yes. Maybe winning 19 games on a regular basis and then having a good season, maybe, well, not good season, but an elite season every 3 or 4 years, when everything comes together and they can be as good as Alabama. But yeah, right now going into the SEC, they're not Alabama, and it's going to hurt their record, and it's going to hurt their overall image at first. But I do think eventually that it'll even out. It'll even out. The recruiting will be better because they're in the SEC, and then you'll see Oklahoma at least near the top consistently. Consistently. Whether that takes 2, 3 years, I don't know. That's the big question. But I do think eventually Oklahoma will get used to it and learn how to benefit from the recruiting and be at that level to where they can have as much as success, say, Texas A&M. Not Alabama, but Texas A&M. They've been pretty successful. Texas, completely different animal. They could very well turn into the Nebraska of the SEC. In fact, I think that's exactly what would happen, what will happen, because I think it's going to happen. In fact, they could start having some losing streaks as far as having losing seasons back to back to back to back. Yes. Being in the SEC and being Texas, yes, they'll be able to recruit, but Texas has always been able to recruit. I just don't think Texas has the stability right now to compete in a year in and year out basis with the SEC. I would say, Alabama, Texas A&M definitely, Georgia, Florida, even though I do think Florida will have a down year. Auburn sometimes, LSU sometimes, Ole Miss is on the rise. We all know the SEC is loaded. Texas has got to be more stable and recruit even better than what they were. They have to. If they want to compete in the SEC, you have to do it. Now, Steve Sarkisian, I think he's a good hire. I don't think they're going to do as well as people think this year because of Steve Sarkisian. I don't think it's going to be that fast of a turnaround. But I think eventually this will be a good hire for Texas, and maybe they can compete in the upper echelon. I don't see them beating Alabama, though. I don't. Let's see. And yes, Branson, it would help both schools with their defense and recruits. Absolutely. I do agree with that. Let's see. Jim says, my hearing is too bad to talk on the phone. I hope to get my new hearing aids in September, then I'll call in. I'll be looking forward to it, man, because the comments that you leave on my videos sharpen me. They do. Jim knows his stuff, and if I slip up or, say something that maybe I didn't fully research 100%, he'll call me out, and I'll look it up and be like, by God, he was right. So I will definitely look forward to Jim calling in. All right, so, yeah, phone lines are open. Number is 864-533-6688. Really easy number if you think about it. The 864 area code, and then 533-6688. 533-6688. That's pretty simple. I think that has to be one of the best call-in numbers, in my opinion. I know I'm biased, but personally, I think that has to be one of the best call-in numbers out there as far as being able to remember it. I think I get an A on that one. Tiger, you're calling... I know this is Tiger, by the way. You're calling the wrong number, bud. You're calling the other number. And that's the phone that I'm using the show for. So if you want to call in, call the other number. 533 or 864-533-6688. That's the number to call. So I see you trying to call in. You just called the wrong number. I'm switching up how I do the thing. Here we go. Here he is. What's up, bud?
My dog. I'm sorry, man. I had a softball practice for my middle school team, and we got out a little later than expected.
No, you're good.
So what's up, dude? What's the conversation about? What's the topic about?
Well, right now it's the thing that's been dominating the news. Texas, Oklahoma going to the SEC, and the sentiment is definitely Texas is not going to be able to compete in the upper echelon, and Oklahoma might take a step back at first, but maybe the SEC, being in the SEC, will help their recruiting even more. And eventually they can compete on a level of maybe what Texas A&M and Georgia's been doing, way up there. Maybe knock Alabama off every once in a while. What do you think?
And we're talking about Texas?
Both of them. Well, the second one was Oklahoma. where
I
maybe
think somebody made a good point about Texas, and you can tell me, or comment section, y'all can tell me too what you think. That caller, Elite College Football, I don't know what his full name is on YouTube, but Texas, I have heard that they're a little butthurt that Texas A&M has taken over the state. I personally feel Texas A&M has taken over the state of Texas.
Yep.
Honestly, I mean, I'm not being mean to Texas fans, like no hashtag horns down, but I'm just saying it literally blew my mind to think one of the richest teams in college football is butthurt. And so their way of, well, how do we supersede that? Well, why don't we go to the SEC too? And since we have more money, we can get that back.
Think about this, dude. Think about this. All right. So Texas A&M is beating Texas in recruiting, right?
Yes.
A&M just expanded their football stadium. They're beating them in seating capacity in their football stadium, correct?
Oh, yes.
And if memory serves me correct, isn't Texas A&M a freaking military school? And that's not me degrading a military school, but
They're not a true military. They have an ROTC program. So
yeah.
it's one of those where,
Well, I'm
even
not
if
putting
you're
I'm not
in the
putting them up there with
military-
like Army, Navy, and Air Force and all that, but they're along that line.
Yes, you're right. They are a military grade institution.
So, would you say that Texas A&M has lifted their brand above the Texas brand?
Honestly, I would, and I think that's why Texas A&M spent so much money on getting Jimbo Fisher to stay, because they knew us being in the SEC, all we have to do is be decent. We're in the strongest conference.
Yeah.
That's all we have to do is be decent, and then Texas blew it out of the water by being straight trash the last 7 or 8 years.
So really,
So they helped Texas A&M.
exactly. So really, if you think about it, it might be more on Texas as to why there's this gap, because Texas A&M isn't like Alabama recruiting. They're doing well. Don't get me wrong, but to me, it's more like Texas sliding down.
Yeah, you're saying if they did go to the SEC?
Yes.
I think.
Well,
they
even
would
overall,
make
even now, the recruiting discrepancy.
they would make a bigger jump to being worse if they tried to go to the SEC in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years.
What
I think.
What
What's
about
up?
this? What about this? All right, so this just popped in my brain, and it's hilarious to me. All right, so Texas keeps saying, Texas is back, right? Well,
Yes.
if they go to the SEC, Texas would be back in the back of the line.
Well, I mean, personally, Texas would give Texas versus Kentucky, Texas versus South Carolina, Texas versus Missouri, maybe Texas versus Tennessee. Those would be good games.
Yeah?
Like, Texas could only compete against the bottom echelon of our conference. Like, it's not really anybody that I see them making it a good game with that's in the top 25 or top 20.
Right.
They don't have the recruits, one, and nor do they make the adjustments. SEC is not just the best conference because, we have the most talent. We have the most talented coaches. That's why you see, think about Dabo at Clemson. He's one of the most talented coaches. That's why he ends up in the college football playoff talk. Why do you
Exactly.
think there's so many different teams in the SEC that always make it to that college playoff talk? Texas
Yeah.
A&M had an argument last year. Georgia always has an argument. Alabama does. LSU messed around and did it. Florida's known for it. It's because of coaching.
Yeah.
So I think Texas is going to have to pull a Texas A&M and hire somebody that's actually good. Not Steve Drunkezian, not some random dude who played football when he was 7 for his father's backyardigans team.
Yeah.
Like, actually go out and hire somebody who is either on a staff and makes a difference. They went out and hired Steve Sarkisian after, 1 year at Alabama? Come on, dude. Kirby spent 13 seasons at Alabama and then went to Georgia. he made an impact. He really made Alabama, if we're being honest. No offense to you Alabama fans, but y'all weren't winning games 50-0. Y'all were winning games 10-7, and Kirby was the defensive coordinator. He was holding those teams to 7 points.
Yeah.
When Kirby left, that's when Alabama realized that they didn't have that defensive stature anymore. They had to start putting up numbers on the offensive side. And that's what they did. I mean, I can't be mad at them. They did what they needed, but you can't, at the same time, on the flip side, you can't dog Kirby and say he's not good.
Yeah.
So,
well, one more thing. Think about this. All right, so West Virginia, since they've been in the Big 12, as far as in a complete season, they have only been in the top 25 consistently in 2 seasons. All right, you got that?
ooh, okay.
And overall, Texas only leads the series by 1 game.
Against Texas A&M?
No, against West Virginia.
Oh,
I'm
I
talking
did
about-
not know that.
Yeah.
Look at y'all. Look at the Mountaineers. I see y'all.
Well, I wish we could take credit, but we haven't been all that good. The thing is, Texas loses games they shouldn't lose. I mean, in 2019, dude, we were a 5-7 team. Terrible. They come to Morgantown and had Austin Kendall not thrown that interception in the 3rd quarter. We would have probably won that game. They only won by 11 points, and Austin Kendall threw 5 interceptions that game. 5.
Holy crap. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was 5. I knew it was 3, but I didn't know. God, dog.
Yeah. It was a lot. So,
Well,
yeah.
and that has to do with my argument about West Virginia, that they will be a good team when they invest offensively, because that just goes to show, dude, y'all's defense has definitely kept y'all in some games.
Well, since Neil Brown has gotten here, because when Holgerson was here, our defense was consistently in the bottom of the Big 12, and the Big 12 has bad defenses. When you're in the bottom of the Big 12 in defense, that's bad. That is really, really bad.
Yeah.
And that's where we were. So I'm very thankful for Neil Brown. Hopefully, Mark Stoops keeps doing a good job at Kentucky. That way, Neil Brown's not tempted to go somewhere else. That's my biggest concern with Neil Brown, because Kentucky is where he's from. That's where he went. That's his dream job. That he's come out and said, he's honest, dude. He said the only place that I would leave West Virginia for would be Kentucky. So, yeah, I'm hoping that Mark Stoops keeps doing a good job. Hey, go ahead and shout yourself out real quick. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Guys, my name is Tiger Baskins. You can find me on the Tiger Baskins page. This guy right here, Golden Blue Dude, is definitely one of the fastest college sports show talk, whatever it is. He's the fastest at it, and you can tell just by how quickly his channel is growing. My channel is growing decently. I'm finishing my 3rd month on YouTube, and we are now up to 218 subscribers. So I'm definitely, raising here and there. So if you guys could go and click that sub button, I would definitely appreciate it. Also, if there's any videos you guys would like me to do, let me know. If there's anything you'd like me and Golden Blue Dude to do, let us know. We love you guys. So I'm out, though. Thank
I appreciate you calling in, man. Have a good one, man.
Yes, sir. You too. Bye.
Tiger Baskins, love it. Always has some good stuff to say. Seems to me like he does agree with me on the Texas issue. Texas keeps shooting themselves in the foot. The crying about the horns down. Honestly, I think that I got a lot of blowback on this one, but I'm going to say it again. I think they fired Tom Herman too soon. I know he had a letdown season in 2019, but last year they went 7-3. And had he used Bijan Robinson more, they could have had a 10-win season. Well, yeah, still a 10-win season in a COVID year, which would be undefeated. Maybe a 1 loss to Oklahoma, but the Red River rivalry, sometimes they win when they're not supposed to. It's a rivalry, so even that would be doable. Herman was just not the cultural fit. He didn't fit in culturally. He had a little more swag than what they liked. They're more old school. But if you really go back and look at Tom Herman's record at Texas, it wasn't bad. He had a few down years, yes, but he was back on his way back from the down year. You're on with Gold and Blue, dude.
Hello.
Who are we talking to? You there?
Yeah.
Who's there? Who we got?
Joey.
Joey. What's going on, Joey?
It's not Joey.
Who's your team, Joey?
It's not Joey.
Oh, who are you?
I don't know. A Memphis fan?
A Memphis fan.
Yeah.
What do you think about Memphis?
They're amazing. 11-1 team.
You know what? That's not a terrible prediction, to be honest with you. I have them at 10-2, so 11-1. I could see it. Definitely. I have them finishing second in the AAC. Where do you have them finishing? Second. So you agree with me there. And so you're saying they only lose to Cincinnati, I'm guessing?
Yeah. Even though they don't play Cincinnati.
Oh, they don't play Cincinnati this year.
So it's basically UCF or SMU.
But they could end up playing Cincinnati in the AAC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. What about the playoffs? What's your playoffs prediction?
Like for the Final Four?
Yeah, for college football. Who you got?
I've got most likely Alabama. That's
Right.
normal.
I got
Maybe
you.
Oklahoma sneaks in there or something.
Okay.
That's a what if. And then we got Clemson.
Okay.
And then I'm going to rock the underdog, LSU.
LSU. Okay. That's
It's interesting, but
that's a weird scenario right there because Alabama's out of the SEC West. How does LSU make it in too from the West?
I don't know.
You don't know. You just think they do.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know.
by the way, I say me, but really it was the chat that figured out first. We figured out who you are, but I was still gonna let you talk a little bit. Yeah, you're a basketball legend, we know, but that's all right. I'll let you talk again. You're good. I got you. I'm not gonna ban you or anything. We got you, man.
Why does Texas and Oklahoma think they're ready for the SEC?
Who knows, man? Who?
Also, they are ready because the SEC are, they're a whole bunch of wusses.
Ooh.
I mean, if they can't put Memphis on the schedule,
Now that I can't agree with that, and you're gonna have a lot of SEC fans in the chat.
why did Alabama have to play Citadel 2 years in a row, but they actually got tied with them at end of the half?
That happens with a lot of Power 5 teams sometimes because they're trying to play their players that they usually don't play, and that just happens to be their FCS opponents. A lot of Power 5 teams do schedule FCS, and then they play the players that usually don't play. But
How come they don't play against the top lower conferences?
Oh, they do sometimes. They do, but they have to play. Well, they don't have to, but pretty much everybody schedules one FCS a year. And what that does is it's the FCS team that makes money. They pay the FCS. The FCS goes there, takes their butt whooping, but they make money. And that's just how it works. So, yeah.
Well, Memphis hasn't played a big SEC team in a while. I mean, they're getting to play Mississippi State, but where's Alabama at? The one time we played them, we beat them. And now they're not coming back.
Alabama, I think we have a Memphis fan that's calling you out, so maybe you might want to sign a home and home and see what happens. That would be interesting. All right, bud. Hey, I appreciate you calling in again, man, but I'm going to let some other people get in, all right?
Okay, bye.
Have a good one. That was interesting. I'm not going to lie. That was very interesting. A Memphis fan calling out Alabama saying, hey, we want to play you. You on with Golden Blue, dude?
Hey, this is a Penn State fan, first time caller, man. Great show.
Can you say your name again?
My name's Randy.
Randy. Okay, I got you. Welcome to the show, man.
All right. I just wanted to call West Virginia fans. I just want to ask you guys, are you guys ready to come to the Big Ten or what?
Come where?
Come to the Big Ten.
We're ready for anything, to be honest with you. I mean, we've had our butts handed to us so many times, but we don't care. We keep coming back up. So it doesn't matter where we go, what conference we end up. We'll still play. We'll play anybody.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I said, like I'm an old school Penn State fan, so I'm ready to play West Virginia again.
Yeah, that's
think
people forget that was a rivalry. That was a rivalry.
Oh, I remember driving to West Virginia during those games, man. You guys go crazy down there when Penn State comes to town.
Oh yeah, were you at that game where it was in Morgantown and they won and they were trying to get the crowd back off because the game wasn't technically over? I mean, it was over, but the clock hadn't hit 0. Did you happen to be at that game?
Yeah, I think that was the last game we lost down there. I think that was
Yeah. Was.
Yeah.
So I wasn't at that game. I was really, really, really young, like super young. How was it?
Atmosphere was great. I think what we need to do as football fans is when this next realignment comes, we really got to take a look at what's going on, because I don't know what your opinion of this is, but I think the East schools have not fared well in realignment.
Yeah.
I think where Penn State was a mistake. I think where people don't realize when you don't have these rivalries like we used to have. Like when I played ball in Western Pennsylvania, you never thought of going to Ohio State.
Yes.
I mean, you went to Penn State, Pitt, or West Virginia. There was no doubt. Or Notre Dame. That's who I got recruited from.
Or Notre Dame.
So,
that's right.
If you were in Catholic school.
Yeah.
So you got to look at some of these programs. Like I think people need to start looking at this last round of these power conferences that come around. Look what has happened to some of these legendary programs: West Virginia, Penn State, Rutgers. I mean, not Rutgers, but Boston College.
Yeah.
These teams in the old Big East, they have not fared well. And what you did was you allowed these conferences to come into your backyard and take your players.
Yes, exactly. That's what happened to West Virginia. In fact, Dana Holgorsen came out and said he's not even going to try to recruit the best players out of West Virginia. Well, immediately when we replaced him with Neil Brown, back-to-back years, we got the best player out of West Virginia.
I mean, it not only hurts you guys, but it hurts Virginia Tech and Virginia.
Yeah.
When you guys are playing all the time, you're not going to, there's nothing holding your best players there.
Yeah.
There's no rivalry. So, in this next realignment, like I said, like I'm glad I'm finding people like you, a like-minded person. I'm actually a big West Virginia fan. I can't wait till Penn State plays West Virginia again.
It's gonna be awesome.
We gotta get this conversation started, because this next realignment, it might be it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. Let me tell you right now on your channel, and this is a breaking news for you. A lot of Penn State fans don't like being in the Big Ten.
Really?
No doubt. They've never treated us well there.
Okay. So wait. So is it because of Ohio State? Do they like just put them on this pedestal and then they treat everybody else, kind of you're just here and Ohio State's, on a pedestal? Is it like that?
I actually think that I don't know. Like I remember going into the Big Ten in '94. There's some expectations for Penn State. I mean, we've always played Ohio State top, even when we don't have good teams. So I mean,
right.
that's just. That's just the way it is. But, I mean, we could go down through specific calls when we played Nebraska, a touchdown wasn't a touchdown. I remember our tight end nearly scored a touchdown to win the game. The refs called it back, and it wasn't a touchdown. There's just so many, like the interception that wasn't an interception against Ohio State. Like, I don't understand. When you go through a league, like, Penn State should get that status as well.
I agree.
You know what I mean? You should be getting the benefit of the doubt. You should be getting those calls, right?
Yeah, I agree.
You think that if that was Ohio State on defense, you think Indiana they would have called that a touchdown?
Nope.
So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of Penn State fans that yearn for the old days, the old Big East, the old Pitt Penn State, the old West Virginia Penn State, the West Virginia Pitt. I mean, I remember Penn State played Virginia Tech. They played Virginia. Maryland was a rival. Syracuse was a rival. Boston College was a rival. All those programs and all those leaders in those programs have their head up their asses, man, because they've lost money. I mean, can you imagine a true Big East football conference and how much money you'd be bringing in?
Oh, man. The Big East was such an underrated conference. I mean, even back in the day, you had Miami. It's unbelievable.
I guarantee you Miami would have stayed.
Yes, exactly. What did you think about my so for this year for Penn State? I'm glad you brought up that play against Indiana because honestly, I think that one play is the difference between Penn State doing what they did 4-5 and being, say, like a one-loss team. I still think they lose to Ohio State, but I think they win the rest of their games. I think that was a momentum killer, and I think this year, I've posted in Penn State Facebook groups all the time, and I don't know why, but right now Penn State fans are super depressed. They think Penn State's going to barely get into a bowl or maybe miss a bowl. I have Penn State possibly winning 10 games. I think they have one of the biggest bounce-back years out of anybody as far as how bad they did last year and how good they will do this year. I think they can get to 10 wins, and I think they finish second in the Big Ten East. How do you feel about that?
I'm right there with you, man. You know, we're right where we like to be. You know, Penn State, the sneaky stealth underdog. No one's looking at them. West Virginia is going to be the same way this year. I think we have talent all over the field. I think our quarterbacks are one of the best in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole secondary group, I think we've got the athletes to match up with Ohio State on the field. You know, no matter what your depth is at Ohio State, you have to realize you're only playing 11 players, man. And I think we've got 11. We've got those players that can match up. I think we're going to be a sneaky good team if we can get it all together. Now, the only thing I'm worried about is we've gone through 2 offensive coordinators, and I think people don't understand. Last year with the other offensive coordinator, when you're trying to implement a new offense, our offense was struggling.
Yeah.
We lost to Indiana. We couldn't implement the full offense throughout the year. So, and then that impacted our quarterback because I think when you watched him play, he didn't really have a good understanding of the offense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. He was holding on to the ball. Didn't really understand the offense. We have the new Texas offensive coordinator coming in. I think we're going to have a lot more smooth. You know, it's going to open us up to the outside zones, like Oklahoma State ran when he was there as the offensive coordinator. So we're looking good, man. I think we're gonna surprise some people. You call it now, man. You guys want to put money on it? Penn State has historically beat Wisconsin.
I do agree with that, but that game still scares me because it is in Madison. One more thing before you get off here. James Franklin, right now Penn State fans are bashing him, and it's because of last year. But I keep trying to remind them, before last year, he was averaging double-digit win seasons at Penn State. And before then, he was winning 8 and 9 games at Vanderbilt. To call James Franklin a bad coach because of one down year is stupid, in my opinion. I'm not trying to call Penn State fans stupid, but making that comment, in my opinion, is stupid. How do you feel about James Franklin, real quick?
I tell you what, I think with the cards that he was dealt with when he came in here first, he's blowing the recruiting numbers out the door. I mean, even as an old Paterno, Coach Paterno type guy, I mean, Franklin's bringing the athletes in here. He's having top 10 recruiting, top 10 recruiting classes every year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So he's bringing in the talent. He's bringing in the people that you're going to surround these kids, and you're going to get the best out of those kids. You know what I'm saying? Even with West Virginia, you guys do a great job of that. You're bringing in a 3-star, 4-star, where they end up like, you know, think about Tamba Hali, old school Penn State, 3-star athlete, comes in, defensive lineman, just blowing up people. You know, I mean, like that's
Yeah.
a lot of that is
Toughness.
Tough. That's what I'm talking about. So, you know, I think we're going to be okay. I think James Frank is one of the top.
I do. Me too. I think, you know, honestly, I think he's better than the coach for Ohio State. I think Ryan Day inherited a lot. He's doing great there. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but as far as coach for coach, I think James Franklin is the better coach, and I think this year a lot of people are in for a big surprise when Penn State knocks on 10 wins. Hey, I appreciate you joining the show. Call in anytime. That was a great conversation. You're awesome, man.
Hey, you take care. Great show.
Thank you. Penn State fans, I'm telling you, they are a very passionate fan base, and right now they're a very depressed fan base. I'm glad I found one that isn't so down and can see the light. You have a great coach, Penn State. You really do. You have to put last year behind you. It was bad, and the beginning of the season set the tone. You had a lot of injuries. You had a lot of opt-outs. That stupid touchdown call for Indiana. I don't think it was – no, 2-point conversion, my bad. That was not good. That should have been ruled no good. Anyways, all that stuff put together set Penn State off to a bad momentum. They finally figured out that they were a good football team towards the end of the year, and they won 4 straight games, finished the season 4-5. And I think that momentum carries into 2021, and I think they're a 9-3 or a 10-2 win season. And no, it wouldn't surprise me if Penn State went 11-1 or undefeated. It wouldn't surprise me as far as how talented they are and the coaching. It's that schedule. They have to go on the road to Wisconsin and I think Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken. They have some tough road games in there, and I think they play Iowa as well. Penn State has one of the toughest schedules in the Big Ten this year. That's the only thing that's making me have hesitation. And you forget about this. Penn State has won the Big Ten under James Franklin. They have. I don't know if it was 3 or 4 years ago. It was a while back. But under James Franklin, Penn State won the Big Ten, and I think they will do it again here soon. Probably not this year. They could win the East, though. They could win the East. But the thing is, I have Wisconsin also having a tremendous bounce-back year. And so Penn State will have to beat Ohio State and either Wisconsin or Iowa twice to win the Big Ten. That is a tall, tall order. Very tall order. And so I had the Nittany Lions falling just short, but still having a magnificent bounce-back year this year. Same with Wisconsin. I think they'll have a big-time bounce-back year. In fact, I think Wisconsin has a shot to make the playoffs. The only thing that could stand in their way is not Graham Mertz's talent, but his consistency. Because when he's good, he is really good. But when he's bad, he's really bad. If he can be more consistent, they'll be all right. Yes, Penn State gets Auburn, but they get them at home, and I actually have Penn State winning that game. I think Auburn... I was a little harsh on Auburn on my prediction video. I had them going 4-8, and it wasn't because I thought they were going to be just a bad team. Their schedule is pretty bad too. That road trip to Penn State, I think that's a loss. Would it surprise me if Auburn went to a bowl game? No, it wouldn't. And because Auburn can surprise you from time to time. I just think this year is going to be a little bit of a step back. We'll see how the new coach does, though, because the one thing that new coach that they hired from Boise State does well, and that's develop quarterbacks. I think that was a brilliant hire by Auburn. The more I think about it, what was the one thing that Auburn was missing under Gus Malzahn? He couldn't develop his quarterbacks. He couldn't develop them. And that's the one thing that this guy does great. I think the recruiting will be there, and then developing the quarterback on top of that. Who knows? Maybe he can work some magic and Bo Nix turns into a superstar this year. It could happen. I've seen crazier things happen. We'll see what happens. I don't think there'll be an upper echelon, but it wouldn't totally surprise me if it happened. Phone line. I was about to say phone lines are open, but the one phone line is open. I only have one right now, and I promise I will invest in some more lines. Another caller from Georgia. Who can this be?
This is Tiger Baskins.
Oh,
Again.
it's
I
Tiger
realized
again.
you didn't have anybody else that was trying to call in, so I was like,
All right, that works.
well, I want to say a few things. First off, I'm going to talk a little trash, okay?
Okay. Always welcome.
Any fan out there of any other SEC team, I hope we play you, Georgia, Kirby Smart, JT Daniels, and bro. Also, Georgia just had one of the top running backs in the nation commit today. If Georgia plays your team this year, then I swear, I hope we beat you by 48 plus. I hope you do not eat for a week. I honestly do. I hope we break your quarterback's back. And how we break him in half? That they have to bring out 2 stretchers and take him off in pieces. Because this is the first time that I've actually been able to be confident in my dogs all around. So I'm going to take it to the woodshed. Alabama, you can do what the LGBT community does. That's what you can do. Okay? That's exactly what you can do. LSU, I don't even have to go there. Y'all's program is so freaking under the water. Y'all are more under the water than y'all's actual sea level. Okay?
Yeah.
Texas A&M, that the only thing y'all have going for you, you're the best football team in the state of Texas. Good job. What'd you do? Your quarterback ran from all of the legal troubles he had at Florida State. So I guess I can pat him on the back for being able to escape a problem. Tennessee fans, you don't even know who your next 4 coaches are going to be in the next 4 years.
Wow.
Who else?
Yeah.
Florida, your coach's wife makes more money than your coach. And it's all under the table, literally.
Yep.
Literally under the table. Okay?
How many players do you think she's kissed?
Oh, well, she's definitely kissed the entire roster. So I guess if you count the guys that have graduated, if players from Florida even do graduate, I don't even know if they have a graduate program. I just thought players from Florida went there for 2 years, and if you were good at football, you got to stay a 3rd year.
Oh.
The only person that's ever graduated from Florida was Tim Tebow, and he graduated through Jesus.
Yep, there you go.
The only thing he got for graduating was going to another country to cut little kids' penises. So... I mean, I could go on for days. Who else we got? Man, name another team in the SEC.
Would you put the over-under on her kissing players around 200 or higher?
200? Well, you got to think. This probably isn't the first time. So let's go back to Mississippi State days.
I didn't even think about that.
Think. She's probably the first white woman to kiss black people in the state of Mississippi.
That'd be like... I've never been...
Think about that.
I've been through... Mississippi, but I've never actually stayed there and saw the culture down there. I hear it's rough, though. I hear it's rough.
The culture in Mississippi is worse than Alabama. More people date their cousin in Mississippi than they do in Alabama.
As a West Virginia fan, I love hearing that. That is awesome because I get that all day long. And people don't even realize West Virginia wasn't the state known for that. It's just, oh, hillbillies, let me connect the dots, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not us. That wasn't West Virginia. You're thinking of Alabama, Kentucky, and Mississippi, not West Virginia.
West Virginia fans are only known for cutting down big trees and growing big beards.
And
wearing
burning couches.
flannel shirts. Yeah,
And burning couches.
burning couches.
Which, by the way, I am going to do a video of burning the couch this year. It's going to happen.
Honestly, though, dude, I think that's the best thing that you could ever do. Just because it takes on the role of being a real West Virginia fan, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I have to do it. Like, it's my job.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome, dude. I will even burn a couch cushion just to join you. I'll put a couch cushion out in the middle of the road, douse it in gasoline, and I'll burn it, get the cops called on me, and run in the house and blame my neighbor.
Dude, that is pure awesome. I love it. But people don't realize that's my duty. I have to do it. Like, it's out of my hands. I don't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing you can do about that. And if you want, you can do what Oklahoma players do. You could always break into your neighbor's house and steal their couch and burn it too.
Would they be able to field an entire team? What do you think?
Who, Oklahoma?
Or would they all be in jail?
I think they could do like the Gridiron movie, and just their whole team could play from jail and just play the cards, and they can televise it.
So the home games will be the yard in prison.
Yes, the longest yard.
There we
that would be
go.
it.
We figured it out, folks. We figured it out. Awesome, man. That was awesome.
I'm sorry to call in and hurt a few feelings, but I've been a very humble Georgia fan for a long time because of the way our season has gone. But with Auburn being down, with all of these teams being down, I'm done with it. I think Kirby's coming this year to whoop some ass. Like I'm hyped up on Mountain Dew right now, kid. I'm still wearing my pee pants. That's what I'm doing.
Dude, I feel you on that because back when West Virginia was really good, I'd say 06 to maybe 011, that's the way I was. Now, we hired Holgerson, and I've had to sit down and shut up for a while. But, you know, once Neil Brown gets things going again, and people get the brainwashing that Holgerson did to everybody, what you saw under Holgerson was not West Virginia.
Yes, sir.
That was not West Virginia. And Neil Brown is proving it. We're back in the top 25 as far as recruiting class. Holgerson never even cracked the 20s at all. He barely cracked the lower 30s every once in a while. So get ready, folks. Get ready. West Virginia is about to come, and we're going to start taking names and kicking your tails all over the place. Maybe not this year. I think it'll start next year. And our quarterback stable is getting better and better and better. We just got a 4-star recruit in that Nico Markle. We stole him, and we stole that 4-star DB from Miami straight up. 4 stars. Jacoby Spells, the U. You can suck it. We stole him. Top 25 recruiting class this year.
That's the one thing I've been impressed about West Virginia, and this is before I even met you. This was before I knew about Golden Blue Dude, Golden Blue Man, Golden Child, Golden Corral. Before I knew anything about
it don't matter.
That was the first thing that I heard was just that West Virginia, you guys are on this whole roll. Y'all are on the new tier of not saying that, oh, West Virginia is back, but y'all are actually admitting y'all had a unlike some of these other teams.
Yeah.
That's the first step. That's the
is.
very first step. Once you admit that, then it becomes this not guessing game of when we're back. It becomes an actual let's rebuild. When you guys pulled that quarterback from Oklahoma, dude, that lit me up. Because I know Oklahoma has actually been good. They've actually finished top 10, the last 4 seasons maybe?
I think maybe 5. Maybe 5.
Yeah, exactly. Last 5, ever since we played them in that the Rose Bowl, I remember that was huge. That Oklahoma had been a very good team because they had Baker Mayfield, and they ended up having Kyler Murray. Then they ended up getting Jalen Hurts from Alabama.
Yes.
So when you guys stole that quarterback from them, I think that's when it kind of proved to me that this new coach was for real, and he could not only coach, but he could sell. And that's the part about coaching that you have to be able to do. You have to be able to sell.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I agree 100%. Yes.
Dude, college football is almost here, and I'm over here. I'm lit, dude. I'm so hyped up.
I'm telling you, Georgia fans should be off their rockers right now because you know me, I predicted Georgia to lose to Clemson, but I think it'll be a close game. But even if that does happen, I know you don't want to think about that. I know. But even if that does happen, you're going to run the table. You're going to win the SEC, and you're going to get in the playoffs. That's going to happen.
Yes. Well, and I don't have to be this whole Georgia fan that has to hype the game up and do all this. I can be realistic. I sat back as a Georgia fan and watched Georgia run the table, but LSU got hot the second half of the year. Well, guess who jumped up 5 spots and took Georgia's spot going to the national championship? LSU.
Yep.
You remember that? That was a while back, but it pissed off a lot of Georgia fans. But my point is, you can get hot in the second half of the season and still win a championship.
And that's when it matters the most. What if you're going to lose the first, I'd say 2 or 3 games is when you want to do it. One game in the first 3 games, somewhere in there somewhere.
And the part that I love for these other teams, like a West Virginia, like a Nebraska, like a Wisconsin, even Memphis Memphis little kid that called in earlier,
Yeah.
even him, you can be excited as a fan like that because they're proving to everybody we want to take teams like that. We do.
Yeah.
We're actually creating more spots. So teams like Cincinnati don't have to fight tooth and nail to be able to actually get looked at. They're wanting to put you in that 5 to 8 range. So,
You know what? Hold on. I'm going to make this announcement real quick. That way it can be out there, cut and dry. All right, so here's the deal, guys. I have a beeping thing. So if you want to call, it'll beep in, and I'll put you on. But otherwise, it's going to be Tiger Baskins. That way we don't have any dead airtime, okay? So I'm going to have him on. But if you call the number and I hear the phone beep, Tiger Baskins understands. It's okay. He'll hang on. Call the number. I'll put you on. Just because he's talking on the phone doesn't mean you can call in. I'm just trying to keep from having dead air, okay? Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
No, you're good. And guys, I definitely understand. I've told Golden Blue Dude plenty of times, like, I'm a huge fan of college football in general. I'm definitely a huge fan of his and the whole YouTube community. But at the end of the day, this whole YouTube thing is fun to me. I know it's fun to him. And so I want it to be fun to y'all. I don't ever want y'all to think that I'm stealing air from y'all. So if you want to call in, I'll sit my happy towel. I'll sit down Indian style, waiting on you to get done. I do not mind.
Hey, remind him, what was the reason why you called in the second time?
Because I wanted to talk trash about Georgia. Oh, well, I saw that nobody was on.
Yeah, that's the answer. There you go. We went through 5 minutes of nobody calling in. So Tiger Baskins was like, you know what? Nobody's there. I'm going to call in.
Well, and I think the commenters, I think you guys all know, me and Golden Blue Dude, we definitely bounce things off of each other very well.
Yeah.
And so I think that definitely takes up the dead air times. But to go back to it, though, watching highlights of Arik Gilbert from LSU, LSU messed up when they let him go. LSU messed up heavily when they let him go, dude.
I think it's because of all the crap that's going on over there.
And that's what I've heard. Like I said, I have a few players that I'm friends with that are on Georgia's team. And from what they've said, not from Arik Gilbert, but just, I guess, through the grapevine, LSU has been committing a lot of not crazy, like they're not allowing their kids to go rob old grandmas and then not go to jail like Oklahoma. But they're not forcing their players to go to class, and they're letting tutors do their work. And they're just paying the tutors more. They're giving them benefits, free tickets, free away games, free food, free gear, hanging out with the players. Like Ben Simmons, you know the one, he's in the NBA now. Ben Simmons was at LSU. He told everybody he did not go to one class. His 1 year at LSU, he did not go to one class.
Man, that is unbelievable. I got a quick question for you real quick.
Go for it.
Do you have a team in mind that you think could surprise some people this year? Maybe they make the playoffs and nobody expects them. Maybe they win their conference and nobody expects them. Or maybe they get to the conference. Or maybe they get 10 wins. Is there that one team out there that you're like, man, why are people not talking about this team?
This will sound biased, but I thought this before Georgia even had to play Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a team because their offensive coach, he's really good. And they have a guy coming back for his senior year now, their quarterback. He might be his 5th year. He might be a redshirt senior. But their offense is one of the best in the nations. And I've actually seen a few people like, these guys 247 or 24/7 Sports, or a lot of these different people online who have given them credit. They've put them in the top 10 coming back offenses in the nation. And it's just, it had a lot to do with, they don't go out there and just say, hey, we're going to play the same way every game. They game plan against who they're playing against, but also they can adjust on the spot. And that's why they gave so many teams trouble. They were undefeated when we played them.
Yeah. Hey, I got to answer a question real quick. So, Totally Not Depressed said, how do I feel about, let me make sure I don't say that wrong. How does it feel knowing there's a possibility the Big 12 will implode the next couple of years or so? It feels great, actually, because I hate being in the Big 12. It sucks. We don't get any calls. There's no real feel to the game. I mean, a victory always feels awesome, but as far as who you're actually playing, I mean, it's always nice winning, and it's always nice beating Texas, but there's no actual true rivalry. So as long as West Virginia gets on the phone right now and starts saying, hey, 2025, this contract's up. I think the Big 12's not going to exist. Can we come? SEC, ACC, Big 10. That's pretty good odds. That's three. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Reach out to all three of them. See out of which one who has the best deal. I'm excited that the Big 12 could be no more very, very soon.
Hold on, I got another thing. J&J Outlaw, he said, how is Georgia hedge pisser going to make incest joke when he roots for a team from Georgia where the movie Deliverance was filmed? Well, you might not know this, Mr. Bama fan with 3 teeth with your cousin beside you in your lap. That was one of the only states in the South below the Bible Belt that would allow the movie to be filmed there.
I did not know that. I didn't know that.
Yes, every other state said no because they would be damned if there were black and white people in the same movie. Alabama was the last state in the freaking nation that allowed black and white people to swim in the same pool with each other because white people thought black people contaminated the pool.
Isn't that where all the police riots with the hoses and all that stuff happened back in the day, Alabama?
Wow, I bet Alabama man forgot that, didn't he? Dang, man, you brought up a movie. We bringing up history? Like, I don't even care about racism. I don't care about that. But the fact that he had to bring it up, Mr. Bama fan with 3 teeth, I bet you get to keep a toothbrush for more than 10 plus years. I bet you never wear that thing out.
Man, I get that comment all the time, and I got to smile big for all my naysayers because I got all my teeth in. And I understand. I'm from West Virginia. Hillbilly. Jokes. Whatever. I'm telling you, y'all have the wrong state. You have the wrong state. Keep trying to straighten that out, but, it always goes over everybody's head. It always does. I don't know why,
It's not being proud of the movie. It's just stating that we weren't as butthurt about the movie being filmed here. When you're married to your cousin, you're a little butthurt about things that are true. When they're not true, then you really don't care. Right? It's just like, it is what it is. So that's why, big dog. That's like the Remember the Titans movie was filmed in Georgia. Had something to do with race. Alabama couldn't do it. Bear Bryant is the only person in Alabama that has ever liked a black person. It's because black men run fast. Black men score touchdown.
Wait. John brought up a good point, and I forgot about this. He said, we, as in West Virginia, need an AAU membership for the Big Ten. Yes, I forgot about that. That is a good point. If you're going to apply into the Big Ten, you do need an AAU membership, and West Virginia does not have that. So either we get that, or we just forget about the Big Ten and apply to the SEC or the ACC. And on top of that, Joey informed me earlier, which West Virginia would never go to the Pac-12, but in order to go to the Pac-12, you can't be a religious school, and you have to have a Tier 1 research facility. Hold on, we got a caller. Hold on 1 second, bud. You're on with Golden Blue, dude.
You look like an ugly, dumbass bitch. Take off your glasses and fucking hat, you stupid ass bitch.
You done? Hey, I'll let trolls go. As long as they're not racist, that's fine. I know you're a troll. No big deal. Call back, Tiger. Which, by the way, that was very weak. Very weak. And while you sit there and call people names like a little 3-year-old, my channel's gonna keep growing. And I'm gonna keep talking trash and getting on your nerves. So keep acting like a 6-year-old and calling people names. I'm fine with that. No problem.
That was one of the weakest troll jobs.
That
I've
was
heard.
horrible. That's why I let him. That's why I didn't hang up on him.
I don't blame you.
I was like, hold on.
I think after like 10 o'clock, when parents make their 12-year-olds
Hey,
off of Call of Duty.
hold on. Let me see if this is another troll. Hold on.
Okay.
You're on with Golden Blue, dude?
You're a fucking bitch ass nigga.
Sad. People are sad. Your 5 seconds of fame. Go ahead, bud.
Hey, I'll give him at least a
Hey, you're just letting me know that I'm getting big enough to have dummies do that. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing.
You're making more people come to the stream, big dog.
Yeah. Bring them on.
Nah, wait, that was not a 16-year-old. That was definitely a 12-year-old. Fortnite must have crashed on the PlayStation. And
Oh, that's what it was.
Exactly what it was. Anyways, back to the grown man stuff.
By the way, hold on. So, what it is, and I figured this out. You're putting names on the number. That's 4 in a row. Man, y'all trying hard tonight. I figured out your game though.
I have to agree with J&J Outlaw. He said we need a call screener. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe have like Joey Foster or somebody talk to them before they come on. Like,
Hey, y'all hear that beeping? Trolls. This is the 5th one in a row. Fifth one.
Let's go. That's good. Well, I have to say though, congratulations, Golden Blue Dude, for reaching the level of finally receiving trolls.
I was wondering when it was going to happen, man. Finally happened. I have finally reached the mountaintop. Finally. Finally. Yes.
Up in there.
It's awesome.
Watching the media, the whole SEC media day. I'm so excited for the SEC because we have got so many good coaches in it, and they all have their game plans for being successful, which makes me happy. That's why when you were talking about West Virginia possibly, if they were to go to the ACC, I personally think the ACC needs to be stronger. And I think probably 90% of all college football fans do. And that's why I was about to give a shout out to Huffer Billy. Huffer Billy is one of the best non-biased Clemson fans I've come across. Pete is too. Pete's a good one.
I have to agree with that. Yes. Honestly, you know what? I think Pete actually needs to be more aggressive. I think he's a little too passive. What do you think? I mean, he can throw some trash talk in there, but I think he needs to be a little bit more assertive with his trash talk.
I agree. I honestly think it has a lot to do with him and Lou being good friends, and he doesn't want to trash talk Georgia.
Yeah.
I wish that he would trash talk Boston College and North Carolina and Miami. Like, I agree. I would love to see Pete flip his crap like he did on chess, but just flip his crap on other college football teams.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's
nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all.
Well, and I think that lady, whoever it was that said, I forgot when it was, but she said that Pete was a little boring and this and that. I actually don't believe so. I think Pete has one of the most chill streams on
He does. Yes, that's what I was talking about.
I could listen to Pete's stream while I'm working out. I love listening to him talk.
Yeah. He's one of the most laid back people that I've ever as far as having a higher I would say at least 3,000 subs or higher, something like that. which he's in the 4,000s now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So,
He's doing good. He's doing good. I'm hoping to do a live show with him too. That would be sweet. He's super chill.
That would actually be really good because y'all are both that. Yeah, I agree. Branson ASMR asked, "Hey, Georgia fan, in your opinion, who finishes second in the East?" I know I troll Megan Mullen a lot. She's actually taking a shower right now at my house. I know I troll them a lot, but I think Florida or Missouri right now have a chance to take that. But Kentucky and Missouri are going to fight for their lives for that last spot. Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and Tennessee, they're just they're just all on the struggle bus right now. I don't know. Those programs have been kind of broken for a while now. Tennessee is doing the same thing Texas is doing.
Yeah.
They're holding these new coaches that come in to such high expectations, they know they can't reach them. And when they don't, they fire them and try to find somebody else. Well, Texas is going to run into that same problem where nobody wants to come coach there.
You hit the nail on the head right there. How many coaches are they going to have to run off before the bigger names are like, I don't want to go there?
Yes. No, I agree. I agree completely.
You don't win a natty within 3 years and you're fired.
Well, and somebody just said this. They said if Alabama moved to the SEC East, if Oklahoma moved in and went to the West, Georgia would never go to the SEC championship again. I don't know about you, big dog, but I think Georgia is 10 times better than Auburn. And Georgia's only played Alabama, 3 or 4 times in the last 10, 11 years?
Yeah.
Auburn plays y'all every year. So the fact that they've won 3 or 4 times out of the 11 times y'all's played, we've almost beaten you out of the 4 times we've played 3 times. Give us 6 or 7 more chances like Auburn. I don't think you'd be saying that. I think you were lucky enough to only play us once every 3 years. But with the way things are going, and now we got JT Daniels Christ as our quarterback out here.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I think Alabama, man, this year is actually scared. I would actually fear if I'm Alabama, just because from a non-biased standpoint, this is the youngest my team has ever been. In the Nick Saban era, this is the youngest team that they've ever had.
I think this is a combination of 2 things. I think this is one of the best Georgia teams that we've seen in 40 years, and Alabama is taking their big step back that they do every once in a while. And there's a possibility that Texas A&M could beat Alabama and end up in the SEC championship, or Alabama gets there and Georgia beats them. Either way, to me, it sounds like a perfect storm to where Georgia can actually get over the hump and beat Alabama this year.
Totally not depressed. You got to be realistic, bro. He said choke in the second half. The 2 times that we've lost y'all in overtime, we've choked in like the last 2 minutes of the game. You know what I mean? We played y'all better than any team in the nation has ever played y'all aside from Clemson.
Well, and people are forgetting, it's not just that, it's the talent that this team this year has is just way better than any of those teams combined. That's the big thing that people are missing. And I think by the end of the year, they're going to be even better. And I do agree with Branson about Kentucky, and people are not giving Mark Stoops enough credit for what he's done at Kentucky. And I know you think it's probably going to be between Missouri and Florida. I think it's going to be Kentucky that grabs that second spot. Heck of a coach. Florida takes a big step back. Missouri, I think it would be between Missouri and Kentucky. That's who I have fighting for second place, because Emory Jones, the quarterback for Florida, is a train wreck. Dan Mullen, he's supposed to be a defensive person, but they did not have a defense whatsoever last year. So I think it's going to be between Missouri and Kentucky. And the reason that I'm giving it to Kentucky is because Kentucky gets they get LSU, Florida, and Missouri at home. I think that's the thing that, for me, tilts it in favor of Kentucky.
Well, Dan Mullen, and I'm not I'm not like arguing with you or anything. I'm just saying Dan Mullen's actually an offensive guy. Like he's actually called the quarterback whisperer because he got to coach. Who was it? Dak Prescott. He was the offensive coordinator or the quarterback coach for Tim Tebow. He got a lot of credit for that offensive, his time there. And the reason he's getting dogged so much now by ESPN and all these other people, he didn't have the balls to fire Todd Grantham. And that's
I might be thinking of Will Muschamp. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
They lost a lot of their games though because, literally, didn't they put up like 40 points on Alabama?
Yeah, over 40.
Exactly, and it's like Alabama's defense is trash.
That's true.
And I've said that ever since Kirby left, they have not had a defense. So Bama man can say, well, but we won though, and it's like, yeah, there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. But to be realistic, you almost had Dan Mullen's wife. Like, it literally puts you to shame. Like,
hold on 1 second. Totally Not Depressed says, I would donate $100 to Golden Blue Dude for every point. I'm guessing he's putting his money on Georgia. For every point Alabama beats Georgia by in the SEC championship this year. So if Georgia beats Alabama, he owes me nothing. But
that's why he's making the bet. No, that's terrible. He knows Georgia's going to win, so he don't want to pay you money. Do it the other way around, totally. If Georgia wins, then you have to pay. Yeah, I would say that. Because Alabama's going to win.
Actually, that's a smart bet on his end because he knows he's not going to owe me any money.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to be smart. He needs to make a real bet. He needs to say, for every touchdown that Georgia wins by, he'll donate $100. That would be a much better bet.
Might owe me a paycheck. I don't know. We'll see.
Uh-oh. And you're right. No, J&J said wins and losses are all that matter. And it's like, I would agree with that. But Alabama lost and didn't make the SEC championship and somehow still got into the playoff. So if wins and losses really did matter, then they wouldn't have got into the playoff not making the SEC championship team. Or the SEC championship game. The only team in the college football playoff era that made the playoff without going to SEC championships. So, not to hate on it, but it's like, that's what you call politics. That's what you call benefits of being Alabama. That even when y'all lose the games that you just said count, the wins and losses matter, y'all's losses apparently don't matter because you still make it. So wins and losses don't matter, buddy. Just saying.
Well, yeah, Jeff, what is your area code? Because we're trying, the trolls are out in full force right now. So we're trying to avoid that. What is, y'all post the phone number up there again. It's 864-533-6688. 533-6688 with the area code of 864. But I need to know your area code because the trolls are being crazy. So make sure you have the number down first before you give me your area code. That way you can call me immediately. Immediately.
Area code is 515.
All right, so call the number real quick. There we go. All right, I'll be back.
All right, see you, bud.
Golden Blue Dude, what's up?
Go fuck yourself, you stupid fucking bitch. Go.
Somebody grabbed that one fast. I don't understand why they don't have better trash talk, though. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to answer off the microphone first. I should have thought of that before. Golden Blue Dude. Hello? You there? Call back, Jeff. I'll just make sure I answer off the air from now on. Golden Blue Dude. You there? What the heck? He keeps calling over and over. Alright, the phone is empty. Let's try this again. It's done. Call. I'm on a cord. But yeah, I figured it out. I can call it off the air and answer away from the mic. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. So, come on, trolls. Come on, let's see what you got. You're not going to get any airtime. You can tell me whatever you want. Tell me you screwed your sister. I don't know what you do. Tell me. Why is it ringing over and over but not answering? I don't understand that. There we go. There we go. I think we got you, bud. You there? There we go. Hold on one second. We got the real Jeff Webster in the house. What's going on, bud?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Tiger Baskins, Golden Blue Dude. How we all doing tonight?
Oh, we're good. The trolls are definitely out in full force right now. I mean, full force.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've been busy working on some stuff, and I've just joined you about 10 minutes ago. So if somebody struck before then, I missed it.
Oh, yeah, dude! Whenever you posted your area code, somebody grabbed it up fast and trolled me. Fast.
Oh God.
Yeah. But I figured out how to do this though. So when I'm not on the line with somebody and somebody calls, I'm going to answer it away from the microphone. They can tell me whatever, that they screw with their sister or, they do drugs, whatever. They're not going to be on the air, though.
Well, let me report to you from the outskirts of the capital city of the great state of Iowa. The S's are silent. It's Des Moines, not Des Moines.
Gotcha.
That there is panic. There is panic here, suspecting that the Big 12 is on its deathbed.
I'm not panicking at all. I hope it happens. West Virginia needs to get out.
Yeah. Well, this would the talk here is that if this goes through, then everybody starts to snap up. What happens to the remainder of the Big 12 teams that they're floating around?
Exactly.
And they're like, well, the Big 10 needs 2 to go to 16. They're at 14. They need 2.
Yep.
Hello, West Virginia. Hello, Iowa State.
Yeah. But the only thing with that is, and Branson brought it up earlier, is you have to have an AA membership to be considered for the Big Ten. And I know West Virginia doesn't. I'm not sure about Iowa State. That's the only thing about the Big Ten.
Yep, I know.
Dadgummit, they're killing me.
I know, and then you got Notre Dame floating around out there. Who knows what the hell's going to happen with them? But I mean, you can trash the Irish all you want, but they are still one of the big names. They still do command ratings. They command national attention. It'll be important what happens to them. I mean, where that domino falls will affect other teams, whether you like it or not. And I think maybe has anybody talked about this on the show? I'm sorry I'm joining late.
No, you're good, man.
Does this kind of shine a light on the fact that the Pac-12 really doesn't matter a whole lot too?
Oh, geez.
Everybody's talking about, okay, Oklahoma, Texas, they go to the SEC. What does that do? Well, that means the ACC and the Big 12 will have to adjust or the Big 10 will have to adjust because the Big 12 will collapse, okay? Nobody's talking about, well, who goes out west? I mean, has the Pac-12 become Oregon, Washington, Stanford, USC, and then there's like a couple other teams kind of floating around? I mean...
Now, I will say that the video that I put out today as far as conference realignment, I did have 2 or 3... I had 2 or 3 Big 12 teams going to the Pac-12 and picking up Boise State. But as far as everybody else, yeah, nobody is talking about the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is an afterthought right now.
Yeah, and you got to just be... Did you see the Pac-12 commissioner? He said, I didn't think that my first job on a month could be any more interesting until today. So
yeah.
he's out there thinking, oh my God, And I like Jamie Pollard, who's the AD at Iowa State. He must be shitting himself tonight.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll have to do my research because off the top of my head, I don't know if Iowa State is an AAU, but if let's just say they are, okay?
Okay.
Where do you think they would choose the Big Ten if they had the choice of anybody? Would they choose the Big Ten, the SEC, or the Pac-12?
Oh, they would choose. They would choose the Big Ten because
Okay.
that would bring them in with Iowa. That would restore what was for ages in the Big Eight, a rivalry with Nebraska. It would bring Wisconsin and Minnesota into play. I mean, Iowa State is a piddling football program, but they're pretty good usually at the other sports. I mean, they're fairly competitive at the other sports.
A lot of people forget about that. All the sports are in play here.
Oh yeah. We're all talking about what the impact of the football team is. Football team is, but you got softball, you got baseball, you got just a lot of these schools wrestle.
Yep.
You've got track and field, you've got swimming. I mean, you've got a whole series of programs. I mean, yes, football's driving the bus, but there are other people on the bus.
Yes.
And so there's all sorts of factors that come into play here. But I know Iowa State's in their guts. In their guts, they're a Midwest school. They're not interested in going to the Pac. I mean, they love SEC money, but Iowa State would just be. They'd be hello Vanderbilt Jr. I mean, they'd just be absolutely demolished in the SEC.
I got a question. You brought up wrestling. I know Minnesota, Wisconsin, and all those upper Midwest teams have pretty decent wrestling teams. How does Iowa State fare, or do you know? It seems to me like they have a decent one. I'm not sure though.
Very, very good. They're very good. They're
so they would
consistently a top 8 program every year. First of all, they produced the greatest wrestler of all time, Cale Sanderson.
Yeah.
Who's now the head coach at Penn State. And Iowa has, I think, 17 national championships in wrestling. As far as I don't know how many individual champions. Oh my God, it's a huge number.
So Minnesota does too. Minnesota does too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I know that doesn't matter in Tuscaloosa and Baton Rouge and places like that, but up here it matters. When Iowa and Iowa State wrestle each other each year, whether it's at Hilton Coliseum in Ames or Carver Hawkeye in Iowa City, they sell out.
Yeah.
It's 15,000 people.
That's crazy.
You literally can't get another ass in the door.
That is crazy.
I mean, yeah, and the atmosphere, it's like a rock concert. It is an absolute riot. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, it's very much a regional thing. I mean, I get it. I get it that wrestling's not, but where it's strong, it's very strong. And really, if you get outside of Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Penn State, it's really only Oklahoma. By which I mean Oklahoma, the Sooners.
Right, not Okie State. I will say though, the one thing that Iowa State, and they used to actually be really good, but recently they've been really bad, is basketball. They have fallen off tremendously in basketball. They need to get back.
The men's team has absolutely collapsed.
I know. You never hear the phrase Hilton Magic anymore. You can go into the Hilton Coliseum and beat their brains out right now. There is no home court advantage for Iowa State right now. I don't know if that'll change in the future, but it's bad right now.
It's really a shame. It's really a shame because
that place rocks.
Up until about 5 years ago, Iowa State, as silly as it sounds to an audience that doesn't follow them, Iowa State could literally beat anybody.
Yes.
In Ames.
Like football now. Like football now.
But now they can't beat Drake.
To be fair though, Drake was pretty good. I gotta say that they were pretty good.
they've just fallen apart. Now, one of my favorite guys is Bill Finley is the women's coach, and I think he's on year 16.
Wow.
The women's team here is a Sweet 16 team. They're competitive. They're never going to win it all.
I think
But
West
they're
Virginia
always-
was a Sweet 16 this year in women's. They were pretty good.
Yeah, they're yes. See, people say, well, what's West Virginia doing in the Big 12? I don't care why they're in the Big 12. I like the fact that they are, because I see West Virginia's women's basketball team come here, and the 100 fans, because women's basketball doesn't travel, and
Yeah.
nobody's does.
We all know that. Yeah.
But when you encounter Mountaineer fans, they're always nice people. I never had a problem. Never.
But drunk as hell. Drunk as hell.
Oh, there's a football crowd. Oh my God.
They'll bring, dude. They will bring their moonshine to the
West
game.
Virginia people who come to Ames to tailgate, they are in party mode, man. They're all funny as hell. They've all got real strong accents to us. They've got real strong accents, but
Yep.
they're always really pleasant. Really, I'm telling you, people clown Texas. They clown about the horns down or whatever. The Texas people are good people too. The asshole fans is Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry to say that, but
their band gets
I
on my
think- I think-
nerves. They'll hold that last note out on a third down, and they won't stop until right before the snap. I hate that.
yeah. Look, I've been standing on the sidelines since 1991.
Wow.
For the Big 8 and the Big 12. So you name the school, I run into their fans. Okay.
And when did Oklahoma and Texas join, or were they founding members?
95.
That's what I thought. So you were there
yeah.
when they actually joined.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the Big 8. I mean,
Yeah. So how did that? What was the?
I remember
What was?
Texas A&M used to come up here. Texas. By the way, Texas A&M is the only time I have seen the Iowa State fans give a standing ovation to a traveling marching band.
That good, huh?
Oh, the Texas A&M band is. I'm not saying that they're Ohio State's band.
Oh no
But they
no
are.
no.
They are fabulous, and they can't. I saw them up here twice, and nobody left. Nobody went to take a leak. Nobody went to get a hot dog. They all stayed and watched and cheered them like crazy. They were really, really good.
And what do you think about the Pride of West Virginia marching band? What's your thoughts on them?
I don't care about it. All the bands are good. And look. If you've got the time to devote to what it takes to be in a marching band in college, which is not like, well, I show up for 2 hours of practice a week. It's a hell of a lot more involved than that.
It's very physical. Very.
If you're that kind of a musician, your band is going to be good. I mean, some are better than others. I've never heard a band that went, oh my God, they're not any good. I mean, they're all good.
That's
they're
fair.
all several
That's
hundred.
fair.
They're all several hundred people. Now I have to tell you, I'm not sitting there paying attention, because usually I'm going through my photos. I'm trying to grab something to eat real quick.
Bathroom break.
I'm talking to other members of the media. I mean, I'm usually actually, believe it or not, busy at halftime.
Oh yeah, as a media member, that would be your busiest. I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually hoping to apply for a media pass for Morgantown and pretty much wherever I go, and try to get some better pictures than what I've been getting. That would be pretty sweet. Would you be able to hook me up in Ames?
You get out here to Ames, and I'll hook you up.
There we go. Golden Bluetooth's got connection in Ames now, guys. That's what I'm talking about.
We'll go down on the sidelines together. I'll show you
Awesome.
around.
I love it. Now, West Virginia doesn't play in Iowa State this year, but you know what? I would still try to figure out a way to get over there. What's a good home game for y'all this year? What's the best? Maybe the Iowa game?
Oh yeah, that's week 2. That's going to be huge.
That would be sweet.
That'll be huge. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be huge.
Could you imagine?
It's usually in the realm of is it Alabama, Auburn, is it Georgia, Florida, is it okay, West Virginia is it USC, UCLA? No, it's not that. But by these people here, it is the big deal.
Yeah, I got you.
And this year it'll be the bigger than most because usually Iowa State is shit, and Iowa's like one of those. Well, here we go for another 9-3 season because that's all Iowa does.
Well, but wait. Before Matt Campbell, he inherited a freaking 3-win team. That
Right.
coach that y'all have, and I've said this phrase before, but whenever his contract is up or whenever a big name at a bigger school gets fired, y'all better back that Brinks truck back to him because the big names are going to come a-calling. And one of my subscribers made a good point. Really, the only school that I could see him going to would be Michigan because of,
That's
still
what I said.
Midwest. You said it. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew one of my...
Well,
yes.
That's what I said the other day. That's
Yes.
because of his
I
roots
agree.
and who he is. Now they gave him an extension and an extra $6 million.
That'll
You know
help.
what he did but you know what he did with that?
No.
He said, I want a couple more million. He took that couple million and took not one dime himself. He spread it into his assistant contracts.
Dude, I am so glad you said that. People don't realize this. The reason Rich Rod left West Virginia wasn't because West Virginia wouldn't pay him more. It's because he asked for a certain number for his assistant coaches, and West Virginia said no. That
Right,
is the
that's
real
why-
reason why Rich Rod left West Virginia. So ignore all that other nonsense.
That's what Campbell did here.
Yes.
Matt said, if you want to keep this going, you have to help me do it. And the best way to help me do it is not give me the money, is give me the money to hire the people I need to help me.
And keep the people you need.
Right.
I got you, man. Hey, could you imagine Golden Blue Dude in Ames, Iowa? How awesome would that be?
Hey, man, I'm in this community. Everybody else is in the southeast or on the east coast. I'm the outlier.
I got you.
Me and Nate the Great over in Omaha and myself here, we're the two that are, if you put pin cushions in the map, there'd be all sorts of dots all over the southeast, and and then out here in the middle of nowhere.
Would you do a live show with me if I were able to come over there? Would you do one with me? Would you co-host?
Oh, sure.
All right. Well, it's getting late.
We'll set up outside the Jacobson building.
It's getting late. I'm getting a little tired. I got to wake up early in the morning. But before you get off here, what is your prediction for your Cyclones? What do you see them doing this year?
I have been chewing this over. I think that Iowa State beats Iowa in a close game, and I think Iowa is. Don't let anybody up here that knows me here tell them that I said this. I think Iowa is going to be sneaky good this year.
I do
But
too.
I think the Cyclones get them, but I think they're going to lose to Oklahoma, and the quote unquote the air brackets somebody else unquote.
Could it be?
I have them as 10-2.
Could it be in Morgantown, perhaps?
Could be. It could be at home to Oklahoma State, who they always seem to struggle with.
Oh man.
Max Dugan, the quarterback from Council Bluffs, Iowa, who's at TCU, who's not getting enough press. He's very good. When he's healthy, he can cause problems because of his athleticism and the 155 millimeter howitzer that he has attached to his right shoulder.
Yeah. What about Skylar Thompson at Kansas State?
Good talent, but I'll take Dugan. I think it's Rattler, Purdy, and Dugan are the three in the.
That's not bad.
I think Iowa State goes 10-2. I don't think anybody other than Oklahoma. I think the next team down is not going to be a one-loss team.
Right.
I think Oklahoma plays a 2-loss team in the Big 12 title game, and it might be Iowa State again. They might get.
Okay, well, one more question before I get off here. Okay, so This is how it could set up for Iowa State. So we all know it is super difficult to beat a really good team twice, right? So let's say now they have to go to Oklahoma this year, right?
Yes, it's at Norman, week 11.
All right, so let's say that they go to Oklahoma and they lose. Now, whether they get to the Big 12 with 1 loss or 2 losses, that's not really part of this conversation. They get to the Big 12 championship is my point.
Right.
Isn't it better if they do lose to Oklahoma the first time? Because of that reason of having to beat a super difficult team twice?
Yeah, it was really a bad, uncharacteristically bad mental decision on Brock Purdy's part, throwing a pass he should have never thrown, that stopped them from winning the Big 12 championship game last year.
How much were y'all down by before you came back?
I don't know. It ended up being 6, I think.
No, I thought y'all were down big before y'all came back on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like 4 touchdowns, wasn't it? 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've seen Iowa State stumble so much and be so bad for so long.
Yeah.
That it's hard for me to get all worked up about them. I think they're good. I think the win against Oregon kind of maybe showed people who were paying attention that, hey, you know what?
That was a great win. Great win.
Right. They doubled them up. They beat them 34-17.
Yes.
I think Iowa State is a New Year's Six worthy team. If it was a 12-team playoff this year, I have no doubt in my mind they'd be one of the top 12. But they're not a playoff team. They're not a top 4. It's just not gonna happen.
Well, you know what, Jeff? That's why they play the game, though. It's because you never know. But, man, I appreciate you calling, man. You endowed on me a wealth of knowledge that was awesome. I appreciate you calling anytime, man. That was awesome.
Hey, thanks, Goldblum. We'll talk to everybody later. Everybody stay safe.
Have a good one, bud. That was a good one, too. All the great calls. Even you trolls, bring it on. And we're wrapping this up, guys. It's getting a little late. But, trolls, I figured you out. And, with the system that I have in place right now before I buy more lines, I have this separate phone, call all day long. I figured it out. When I answer it, you're not going to get any airtime because I'm going to answer the phone away. So keep going, keep trying, whatever. If you figure that out, I'll counter, you'll counter. Let's get this dance going. I'll dance with you all day long. I don't care, whatever. All it does is it proves how pathetic you are, and we still growing. I have reached the status where the trolls think I am worth their time, guys. The trolls think that I'm worth their time. How awesome is that? I am worth the trolls' time. That's how you know you're doing good. So I appreciate you, trolls. That was awesome. You made my day. You made my day, and I appreciate it. And to all you regular awesome subscribers that have built this channel, growing. You're awesome too. You know I love you. I appreciate you joining the live show. Another great live show. I think that's 3 good live shows in a row. Seriously, 3 good live shows. And it's all because of you. Appreciate you. Y'all have a good night. I'll be back here tomorrow night. Tonight's done. Tomorrow night. Probably 9 o'clock. And then Saturday. Mark Rogers live show. Right now we're sticking with 9 o'clock. You never know. Things might happen. Might have to push it to 10. But right now, 9 o'clock. Don't miss it. We're going to talk about the Texas and Oklahoma thing going to the SEC. We're going to talk about some Big 12 defenses and offenses. Maybe some playoff talk. Alabama could miss the playoffs. Yeah, we're going to talk about all that stuff. So y'all come back on Saturday night. Until then, y'all have a good night. I appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow night.